All right, we're going to start with committee meetings. Let's start with finance.
We'll call finance to order at 6:46. The first one is number 17. This is an ordinance reauthorizing the interior renovation program, IRP, authorizing the auditor to draw his warrants from admission tax funds in the amount not to exceed $85,000, amending the appropriation ordinance number 51/2026, and declaring the same to be an emergency.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is just essentially a resolution to add some more money to our interior renovation program that was originally funded at $100,000. These have been very popular programs. They really have facilitated some very powerful developments and public benefit. We got a number of inquiries this year, but we received several complete applications that were worthwhile. So we're requesting this money so that we can add a few more to the list of the businesses that will benefit that are investing in the city of Canton.
Anyone have any comments, questions, or concerns? Hearing none on this, we'll sign this one out. The next one is number 20. This is an ordinance reauthorizing the Public Realm and Reinvestment Program, PRRP, authorizing the auditor to draw his warrants from the admission tax fund in the amount not to exceed $50,000, amending appropriation ordinance number 51/2026, and declaring the same to be an emergency.
It's been extremely popular. We ran out of money with multiple applications, sitting waiting for additional funding, so they'll go for these additional applicants. Thank you.
Anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none, we'll sign this one out. The next one is number 21. This is an ordinance reauthorizing the Storefront Reinvestment Program, authorizing the auditor to draw his warrants from the admissions tax fund in the amount not to exceed $25,000, amending appropriation ordinance number 51/2026, declaring the same to be an emergency.
Mr. Chairman, members of council, once again, this is one of our economic development programs run through the planning department. Very popular program once again. To date, it's going on its 6th year. It's well over $1 million in investment, as well as what we put into it. It's for the exterior renovation of storefronts within our selected districts.
Anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none, we'll sign this one out. The next one on your agenda is number 22. This is an ordinance authorizing the mayor or director of public service to enter into a 1-year contract with the option of 2 one-year extensions with Stark Metropolitan Housing Authority for vehicle maintenance and fuel service, and declaring the same to be an emergency.
Mr. Chairman, members of council, this is something we've done for the past 13 years with SMHA. Essentially, we charge them a per work order fee and then an hourly rate, and then we charge them for parts at cost for DMV, and then they're able to use our fueling sites at cost. Essentially, it's a win-win for both groups. It pays for about half of a salary of one of our DMV workers. So we're just asking to basically reauthorize this contract so we can extend it again.
Anybody have any comments, questions, or concerns with this one? Hearing none, we'll sign this out. That concludes finance at 6:51.
Okay, let's do judiciary.
All right, it's 6:51, and we'll call judiciary to order. First number on your agenda is 18, an ordinance amending section 1187.05, prohibited signs of chapter 1187 of the Planning and Zoning Code. Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the council. This is just a couple of lines in the prohibited sign code that helps to clarify some language that was previously in there, and it also adds one other line that you all have there to read. It's really just to make things a little more clear and to clarify the code a little bit better.
Do we have any questions? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and sign this out. Now we'll move to, on your agenda, number 19. Ordinance number 19, an ordinance amending chapter 1131, definitions, and amending chapter 1148, special provisions of business and industrial use by creating a new section, 1148.16, data centers of the Planning and Zoning Code.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of council. This is, as you may recall, back in late 2024, the topic of data centers was presented to the Planning Commission and City Council as a relatively new type of land use in the city, and that many jurisdictions had not yet addressed or defined in their zoning ordinances. And at that time, City Council approved a loose definition of what a data center is, where it could be used, where it could be permitted. And at that time, the Planning Department did advise that many industry analysts predicted a sustained growth in data center construction in the coming years. Fast forward to now, and those predictions are coming to fruition. With the prospect of these data center developments potentially on the horizon, the Planning Department has reviewed the city's various design requirements, bulk and area requirements, and parking requirements, and found the existing regulations are not conducive to responsible regulatory oversight of such developments. And with this in mind, we began researching and looking for the best way to regulate the realistic parking requirements for data center use, which then born the rest of this chapter that we've created for this.
All right, do we have any questions?
Oh, yes.
Councilmember Morris?
Okay, so you're telling us in 2024 a presentation was made to council regarding data centers? Did I understand that correctly? Because myself and Member Fisher, nor the minutes from what the clerk can determine, no presentation was made. But Member Morris, I would find it very difficult to believe that this became part of the ordinances of the city of Canton without council approval. Okay, fair enough. So now you're telling me 2024 you knew this was coming, and now here we are in 2026. And we're finally going to firm up our zoning ordinances because we know the data centers are coming, but a data center is already here. And if they choose to comply with what the hell we wrote, if they choose. And we can't even offer amendments at this point because now we have to come back to the planning department to get our amendments approved. And they don't have to comply with anything. So we've had 2 years to prepare for this, and now here we stand in 2026 with our damn pants around our ankles.
I find that to be a false statement, Dave. And I'm not here to grandstand, but I will say this. There was no definition on the books for data centers. At that time in 2024, a definition was provided for what a data center was. As you all know in this room, data centers are permitted in the city of Canton as we sit today, and always have been. This is not an ordinance where we are allowing data centers to come in. This is an ordinance, an amendment to the zoning code specifically, which we are here to do, to protect the city of Canton for data centers when they come.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, continue.
Follow up, and then I'll give it to Mr. Sacco. You stated protecting the city moving forward, but we're not protecting the city at this point because they're already moving forward. Some of these things in our zoning ordinance, for example, variance between property and off the road, the drawings are already done. Construction's moving forward. They're moving dirt. There's nothing that anybody in this room is going to do to change their stance. They may try to appease us, but I think, honestly, we're trying to put a Band-Aid and the infection's already set in.
Chairman?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
No question.
Member Mario.
Could you highlight some of the regulations that this outlines? Things like Member Morris mentioned setbacks, but can you go through and just give a brief overview of what this means?
So what this does, it updates the code to include such things as setbacks, lighting requirements, substation requirements, underground utility requirements, parking requirements, off-street loading, landscape and buffer, sound barriers, sound monitoring, pre- and post-sound monitoring, lighting and screening.
What is
Well, not enough.
what is the
There's nothing today.
All right, quiet, please.
what is the current, without these changes on the setbacks, what is the current setback and what would this then extend to feet?
50 feet,
And this takes it to,
200.
okay. I know that there's portions about parking. Can you kind of elaborate a little bit about that, what the parking requirements are now versus what the change is?
Yeah, Member Mario, Mr. Chair, members of council. So the current parking regulations for industrial uses depends on how it's applied. It's either a warehouse or it's some sort of storage. If it's just general warehousing, it's going to be one space for every 1,000 square feet of floor space. So if you're talking about a $1.1 million, or excuse me, a 1.1 million square foot building, you're talking about 11,000 parking spaces on impervious surface that's going to have a much more detrimental effect to everything than letting the rainwater go through the natural ground if we were to apply parking requirements that are specific to the use. We know they're not going to need 1,100 parking places ever. This is a very smart regulation.
I just had a couple more questions on
Yes, continue.
what it does. What is the current rules on sound, and then what does this establish?
So right now, there is no requirement for a data center to have pre- or post-sound monitoring. Sound is covered in Chapter 5 of the codified ordinances, general census. It's not covered by the planning and zoning code. So we placed in the document for the zoning for data centers that it shall adhere to Section 509.03 general census of the zoning of the codified ordinances of Canton. But within the zoning code itself for land use, we do not enforce noise ordinances. That is part of 509 of general census.
Member Sacco, please go ahead.
Yes, with that, it's knowing that we started behind the 8 ball because we just got all this information now, and researching this thoroughly for the last month. I've come up with this data center low frequency noise and infrasound performance standards that I think need to be addressed or put into whatever zoning section it needs to be in. To come and say that right now that there's no way we can add anything to this before we vote on it is not, I don't believe, in fairness to us or to the citizens of the city. Now, I did a lot of research on this, and I've come up with a sample zoning that you could use for if you want to put it in 509, whatever section it was. So I want to see this put in here because this is the problem that we're having with data centers now. The more research we find with these things is what the people are complaining about. If you just do an A-weighted measurements, it doesn't cover the stuff that what people are complaining about, the low frequency noise and infrasound performance standards. So what I'm saying is, why are we doing something now? You say you want to protect the citizens and everything. We need to put this in now before the ordinance comes in, because you're right, they don't have to adhere to anything. But if they want to not have to put in 11,000 parking spaces, maybe we can negotiate with them to have them add this to the ordinance. That's all I'm asking. If it goes back to the planning commission, they come back and say, look, we can add this part, and there's independent people that do this. There's companies I have listed here that you could use that are local out of Cleveland. So these are things that I think need to be added to this ordinance, and that's where I believe it should be before we send it a whole thing up there, even though it doesn't matter because they can do whatever they want.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, members of council, just a clarify once again, this is a zoning ordinance. What you're talking about is a general fence. That is section 509. If you want to have that amended, that's not a planning council function. That is you working with the law department to have it included. We are in charge of the zoning code, not the entire codified ordinance.
Follow.
Yes, please.
Well, when I looked at other cities' ordinances, they included this in their ordinances, zoning ordinances for data centers. So is our law different than theirs? Is that all I'm asking?
Remember that we are not a charter city. We are a codified ordinance city, and not all do have that in there. All the ones that we've researched, coming from the city of Cleveland, is their chief city planner, where we've had data centers. It always references to the general offenses. So that's not an accurate statement. It's not apples to apples, and that's been my experience.
Chairman,
Member Fisher? All right. Member Merrill?
I guess this is a question for the law director. So, based on what Mr. Angus said, if council amends section 5 fencing with language pertaining to the item that Member Sacco brought up, the manner of which we calculate noise, that is not something that would necessarily have to go through the planning commission. That is something that is a council action that we would vote on. So essentially, we would just submit a communication ordinance like a normal thing. It would not necessarily have to be presented to the planning commission. I guess one last question. If you have what is being proposed part of the zoning law, and we then address Member Sacco's issues with DBC, if a change is made to our ordinances in this section 5 fencing, can that apply? Does that apply moving forward? Or are people who have already built, are they grandfathered into that?
At this point, my understanding is nothing has been actually built. They're moving dirt, so nothing's been built yet. If the project was complete, you'd have a different set of circumstances.
So essentially, we have time from the point of this discussion to them being built to change section 5, if council decides to add in what Member Sacco is mentioning, and that those new rules would therefore apply.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Member Morris?
Well, I think Saline Township, Michigan would disagree with our stance on that one, but I know from my experience down here, 14 years, that zoning and annexation zoning and annexation work hand in hand together. And quite honestly, gentlemen, I honestly think that you put the condom on after sex, because we are going to get hosed on this first one. And I think we need to do our due diligence to make sure that we don't get hosed on the next one.
Any further questions or concerns? Please quiet. Seeing none, we'll go ahead and see where this goes. It's 7:05, and that concludes judiciary.
Yeah, finance and annexation. Yep.
Okay, we'll call at 7:05. We'll call our joint committee of finance and annexation committees together, and this is number 23. And this is going to be a second reading vote. So this is an ordinance authorizing the mayor, director of public service to enter into an annexation agreement with the Board of Trustees, Plain Township, Stark County, Ohio, and to enter any additional agreements or agreement amendments necessary to facilitate the foregoing annexation agreement. Terminates all previous community economic development agreements, mutual economic development agreements, etc. the city had previously entered into with Plain Township, and declaring the same to be an emergency.
Mr. Chairman, members of council, over the last more than several months, we've been in discussions with Plain Township regarding how we can work together as partners for the purpose of economic development and broader development that benefits both communities. At this time, we are proposing an updated annexation agreement to guide and streamline our relationship moving forward. This agreement will, if approved by council, which I'm encouraging council to approve this, will be replacing all previous agreements and including the MIDA, the Mutual Economic Development Agreement that was developed in 2014. The highlights of this agreement: the township agrees not to object to the annexation of non-residential properties, and this includes multi-family dwellings of 4 units or more. The city agrees not to require annexation of residential properties, and there's, unless the property owner would request it. The township annexations will be done using ORC 709.023, so that the land, and this is important to the township, so that the land will not be excluded from the township, and the township retains its property tax, all of its property taxes, because that's how they survive, and we also survive an income tax. I want to be clear, with the previous MIDA agreement, the city was supposed to be allocating 1.25%. We're supposed to be getting splitting 50% of the income tax that we annex. Plain Township had agreed the township shall receive 1% of the income tax collected from the properties annexed as a service payment. In exchange for the service payment, the township shall continue, and this is important to myself and the city, the township will continue to provide services for road, fire, and EMS, and including the Stark County Sheriff. Now, we are currently having conversations with Canton Fire, with Canton Fire continuing to continue service to the existing properties that we've annexed for the last 12 years. Now, the conversations that we're having are just the existing properties that we have annexed. I think there might be 15 properties that might be in play. So, the city shall retain 1.5% income tax collected. The Hall of Fame Village development is excluded, and our city service center, because there were properties in our 30th Street Northeast City Service Center. So, and I want to say this, I want to thank trustees Scott Haas, John Sable, and Brooke Arliss for being here tonight. We went to their meeting when they approved this. This agreement is a testament of how communities can work together. The thing that was important for me is that we're not extending our services, so we can have a relationship moving forward. And this agreement is 100 times better than any other agreement that we ever had with Plain. And this agreement has a term for 25 years. It's not a 100-year agreement like some of the CETAs that we had. And I'd be more than happy to answer any questions. But, to my fellow trustees of Plain, I want to thank you for being here tonight. So I'd be more than happy to answer anybody's questions.
Anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns for the mayor?
Mr. Chairman, if I could, John, do you want to say a few words, or even Brooke or Scott? Okay.
Sure. Members of council, president, mayor, directors, first of all, I appreciate you allowing the mayor to spend time to make this agreement hopefully a reality. I've been around for a long time. I've been involved in government. I was chief of the fire department for 17 years before I became a trustee. So I understand the inner workings of government, but I also understand how important it is to collaborate, to cooperate, to compromise, and to have trust. And I believe that this agreement is leadership in action, not rhetoric. So for us, my colleagues here want to thank you for considering this proposal. We are in total agreement of it. It clears up a whole lot of the other agreements that were in place, that were in question, and we believe that
There's been a lot of time spent by both sides, and obviously we already have certain agreements going on. Our fire departments, for example, do mutual aid and automatic aid with absolutely no question. And those fire chiefs came together in their relationships and created those responses. So the people that are actually on the street that know better what we could do to collaborate and cooperate and make our services much more efficient are the ones that are pulling that off. And we already have road agreements, and it only makes sense that when we have roads that you, for example, may have half the street, we have the other half of the street, maybe some things are getting done on one half, and it just doesn't make sense. Everything that we're going to do with this agreement, to me, makes perfect, efficient government sense. And I would hope that you all, in reality, look at this as not something that you are giving away or we are giving away. I hope you look at it that it is something that we are coming together on to make this happen. And like I say, I've been around for a long time, and I can tell you, if this agreement passes and becomes reality, by far, this ranks up with the upper five of things that I have accomplished in my career. That's how important I believe this to be. So a lot of people spend a lot of time on this behind the scenes. And for me, just the cooperation and the trust. And I think there's other levels to this. I think once this comes together, our directors, our department heads, those people are going to start talking a little bit more, collaborating, bouncing ideas back and forth of what we can all do to, on those borderlines, make our government more efficient and certainly better for our citizens. I apologize if I went over 3 minutes. I didn't get the hook yet, so.
Thank you, John. Thank you, John. Now, this will be amended on the floor tonight, and I want to let the service director chime in real quick.
Mr. Chair, members of council, the purpose of the amendment is just to add a section to the ordinance that states and clarifies that we intend to update the road maintenance agreement as a result of this. In looking at our current road maintenance agreement with Plain and all of the roads encompassed in previous annexations, essentially there's 4 roads that are kind of out in no man's land that we haven't addressed collectively. 2 of them, it makes absolutely no sense for Plain to touch. They're completely surrounded by Canton. That's a part of Richmond and Will Avenue in the northeast area. And then there's 2 roads that are adjacent to areas that Plain already does that they will do. 44th Street by the Old Fishers, that little blip there, and then Clearview over by the Hall of Fame. So we intend to update that agreement, but we wanted to add that to this ordinance so that we didn't have to come back to do another ordinance to amend the road maintenance agreement. So that's the purpose of the amendment. Just good stuff.
Anyone else have any comments, questions, or concerns? Member Snapper.
I'd just like to say I've known John Sabo for a long time, and to see this happening between our mayor and them is a step forward. Hearing what John said tonight reaffirms that it is what it is to me, and I think it's a good step that we are able to have, unlike we've had with other townships, as we all know. So I think this is a good thing.
Anyone else? Hearing that, we will conclude finance at 7:15. We'll sign it out.
Okay, we're going to go over the agenda real quick, and then we are going to make a motion to go into executive session. So, any questions on third readings? We're going to be amending number 25. Just heard the second readings. We're going to be voting on number 23, and we'll be amending that one. Questions on first readings? First readings, we're going to be voting on number 16, so we'll have that committee on the floor. Any questions on communications? All right, Member Morris, you have the invitation tonight. So with that, I'd like to make a motion that we go into executive session to discuss personnel issues. This will include all of council, the council president, and clerk of council.
Second.
Muriel,
Aye.
Babcock, Smuffler, Cole, Maley, Kimbrough, Staglione, Smith, Fisher, Cook, Sacco, Morris. You are now in executive session.
I'd like to make a motion to come out of executive session.
Second.
Muriel,
Aye.
Babcock, Smuffler,
Aye.
Cole, Maley, Kimbrough, Smith, Fisher, Cook, Sacco, Morris. Staglione, yes.
No, you didn't.
Staglione,
Aye.
you are out of executive session.
We're now calling the meeting of Canton City Council to order. With a quorum being present, can we get a roll call, please?
Muriel,
Here.
Babcock,
Here.
Smuffler,
Here.
Cole,
Here.
Maley,
Here.
Kimbrough,
Here.
Staglione,
Here.
Smith, Fisher,
Here.
Cook,
Here.
Sacco, Morris. All present, Mr. President.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Tonight's invitation will be given by Ward 9 Council Member Price Morris. If you will please stand and remain standing for the pledge of allegiance.
Please bow your heads. Heavenly Father, we come together today to represent those who have blessed us with this opportunity. Help keep us all humble and faithful as we keep our faith in you, Lord. May we fight to keep the community's faith in us. Let us all remember that you, Lord, are the leader, and we are all merely servants. Amen.
We are now under agenda corrections and changes. We are married.
Mr. President, I move we suspend Rule 22A to add second readings ordinances 17 through 23 to this evening's agenda.
Second. It's been moved and seconded to suspend Rule 22A for second reading for ordinances 17 through 23. Are there any remarks? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Muriel,
Aye.
Babcock, Smuffler, Cole, Maley, Kimbrough, Staglione, Smith, Fisher, Cook, Sacco, Morris. 12 yeas, Mr. President.
The motion carries and ordinances 17 through 23 are now a legal part of your agenda. We're now into public hearings. We have none for this evening. We are in old business. Peter Muriel, do we have any old business?
There is not.
Okay, we're now in the public speech. We have two speakers this evening. Our first speaker is Kimberly Bell. Please come forward, give your name and address for the record.
Kim Bell, 1733 Morris Avenue. I gave you guys a handout, but I'm going to give each side what I was talking about in the letter, and you can pass it down and get once it reaches to Mr. Giovacci. I'll give it. you all can view that, and then, like I said, once it reaches, both of them reach Mr. Jerry, says I'll get them after the meeting. I was going to address Route 30, but I just have to speak up. Thank you, folks, for continuing to fight for the cause and the data center. But people are listening. After what I heard today, they're listening. And then the meeting at the Coleman Center, somebody's listening, okay? But I have to apologize that I don't understand why you have to be a clown at every show. Stand over there with your signs and not block the view of the people that's fighting for a cause. Stand over in the corner and hold your signs. Stop blocking their view. Ridiculous. Let's understand this. You want to spend $200,000 to basically hire a building department to come in and run a bill up to tell you something that Canton City Building Department and a few of you builders or men can do. I didn't say do it free, but 10 men between City Council and the building department with 1 or 2 outside black-owned construction companies come to help out with the blueprint, paying each one of you $4,000 once the print or the plan is approved. These city building department workers drive around the city all day, laughing at their co-workers doing nothing while they're in the truck. So sitting down with 10 men to come up with a blueprint without spending $200,000 won't hurt you all to earn your paycheck for once. Now moving on. The other $200,000, that's $200,000 just burning a hole in y'all pocket to spend. I just sent you the thing for the Northeast Community Center. I've been asking and fighting for the Northeast Community Center to be put at trade school in. If you can't spend the money the young man is trying to get from you, trying to sell it for, have Lowe's or Meta, who's doing this trade school thing right now. We can open up a lot of doors in Northeast Ohio if we do this with Meta or Lowe's. I've talked to Lou about it overnight sometimes, and Mr. Merrill. I love our conversations. Thank you, and we'll talk later. But I can't take this no more. Stand in the corner and hold your sign up. Yeah. Stop blocking their view. Stop blocking your view.
Mr. Sam Smith? Sam Smith, 1301 Village Street, Southeast Canton, Ohio. Read the zoning changes, read them again, and read them again. I was impressed. You have been listening. Finally. You hit on about every concern we have with fairly good language. And I thought to myself, they won't be able to build behind me. But then I realized they say they will follow these rules, get it in writing. Who determines these are a nuisance? If you can hear humming, that's a nuisance. I go out in the evening, I can hear the crickets, and I hear frogs. Country folk like the country. City folk, I don't know. Do you like sounds outside? I mean, it's beautiful. If the noise above the limits, what are they going to do? They'll say, oh, it'll take 6 months to fix it. Another 6 months. We'll figure it out eventually. Is there some sort of fine or something that's going to motivate them to do something quickly? The landscape buffers, obviously, are not all that great. 8-foot tree is planting 2-story buildings. What good is that going to do? Stormwater runoff, the retention ponds are going to handle the stormwater like last week. The creek behind us rose to its banks just on a summer storm. The ground absorbs the water slowly and lets it down into the creek there on the Milliken Central location. The wastewater, the propylene glycol that they're planning on using, from what I've been reading, only lasts a few years. Then what's going to happen to it? Are they going to dump it in the sewer? They're going to inject it into the ground, or they're going to put it in retention ponds. Do we have anything to make sure they do what they're going to do with it? Get it in writing. Environmental development or economical development. We need jobs. Bring jobs to Canton. They say 60 jobs, get it in writing. Several percent, 70% of people do not want to be near data centers. People will not be coming to Canton, they'll be leaving. We definitely need the zoning changes, something, because we have nothing now, and obviously it's too late. Probably hope there are enough, but probably not. They have more lawyers and money to get away with what they want or going to do. This public outrage, not just here, but nationwide. That's why we got 8,000 signatures in just 10 weeks. The people I've talked to are unaware of the multiple possible locations, and they're very unhappy. Hopefully, you guys finally take action. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. That will conclude public speaks. We are now under formal resolutions, and we have none for this evening. We have communications. Let the journal show that all communications are read and received. We are now under ordinances and formal resolutions for the first reading. Madam Clerk, would you begin with ordinance number 11?
An ordinance amending sections 1304.02, plans examination, 1304.03, permit costs, and 1304.04, permit inspections of chapter 1304, fees, planned examinations, permit applications, and inspections, and amending section 1312.04, requirements for general construction contractors, legislation of chapter 1312. General construction of the building code of the Canton Codified Ordinances, referred to judiciary. Number 12, an ordinance authorizing the mayor or director of public service to transfer Stark County parcel number 280210 to the Stark County Port Authority for subsequent transfer to Habitat for Humanity of East Central Ohio for the construction of single-family houses, enter into contract with Habitat for the partial funding of the single-family homes in an amount not to exceed $550,000, utilizing comprehensive plan funds to be split between budget years 2026 and 2027, and to enter into any contract necessary to complete this project. Amending appropriation ordinance number 51/2026 authorizes the auditor to pay all moral obligations related to this project and declaring the same to be an emergency. Referred to finance. Number 13, an ordinance authorizing the mayor, director of public service, or any other necessary city official to enter into all contracts necessary for the exchange of real estate depicted on Exhibit A pursuant to Ohio Revised Code 3313.40, and to enter into joint facility use agreements and/or joint facility use agreement amendments with the Board of Education of the Canton City School District for said property. Authorizing the appropriate officials to take any steps necessary to vacate 17th Street Northwest between Clarendon Avenue and Harrison Avenue, pending Planning Commission approval, retaining any necessary easements, and declaring the same to be an emergency. Referred to economic development. Number 14, an ordinance authorizing the mayor or director of public service to enter into a change order with RMI Cement, LLC, in an amount not to exceed $58,377.45 for the Fulton Road Northwest Sidewalk Replacement Project, GP 1456. Authorizing the auditor to pay all moral obligations related to this change order, retroactively authorizing all actions taken in relation to its completion, and declaring the same to be an emergency. Refer to finance. Number 15, a resolution designating public monies available for active and interim deposits and designating depository banks for said deposits, and declaring the same to be an emergency. Refer to finance. Number 16, an ordinance amending appropriation ordinance number 10/2024 as amended, the classification plan for management and non-bargaining unit personnel employed by the City of Canton, and declaring the same to be an emergency. Refer to personnel. Mr. President.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. At this time, the Chair will declare an in-house recess for the Personnel Committee to meet in regards to ordinance number 16 on your agenda this evening. We are now in recess.
Yes.
It's 740, this is personnel. This is an ordinance. This is an ordinance amending ordinance number 10/2024 as amended, the classification plan for management and non-bargaining unit personnel employed by the city of Canton, and declaring the same to be an emergency.
Mr. Chairman, members of council, within the last 4 to 5 weeks, I was notified that our CDO, Charles Cochran, will be leaving. Charles is historically, since he's worked for the city, has been a part-time CDO. So the city of Canton, like other communities, has struggled to find qualified candidates for various vacancies, including the CDO. And especially when you talk about inspectors for your building department or a certified building official, I'm not saying it's trying to find a unicorn, but they are very tough to find. All right. So in the past, we have, hired part-time, positions for various positions, including the chief building official. We are now looking to hire a full-time chief building official to allow longevity with the department. In reviewing the current market and the demand for qualified for CDOs, we are respectively, and I'm asking council, requesting consideration of an adjustment to the building code non-bargaining management class plan. Currently, the chief building official pay is in pay grade SN 002, which the minimum is $93,640 and the maximum is $135,084. Currently, for the last almost 4 weeks, we've had our HR department along with civil service applying and reaching out. Broader than the state of Ohio. We've had a couple applications, but they're not even qualified to basically apply. So we are asking to change currently. We are proposing to move the chief building official to pay grade 001 with a new salary grade of the minimum would be $119,153 and the maximum would be $165,000. Currently, right now, we are competing against every other city out there to find one. Now, I could easily take the position that we could merge with the county, but I think it's imperative that the city, we have our own autonomy and we have our own building department. And one thing I do not want to do is merge with the county, even though that is an option. We are also further requesting to increase the salary pay grade of 000 to $123,203 to $166 even. And I'd be more than happy to answer anybody's questions.
Member Sacco?
Raising this rate to what you want to do, when you put the feelers out, did they say if you would offer more money they consider it, or how did you come up with this number so that how we compete with other people?
Well, currently based on what other currently what other communities are paying right now, I don't see us having to pay somebody $165,000. But also the way that it goes, anything above 85% has to have council's approval, correct? So this just makes it more attractive. It's no different than having a conversation about safety forces while recruiting. The list goes on and on. And right now, I really don't see. The pay grade just needs to be adjusted. I don't see us having to pay that much to that extent. But the going rate is to find somebody that's qualified for the job and has those credentials. It's really like trying to find a unicorn, but at least it gives us the option, to be attractive for somebody to come down here. And we just don't want to hire somebody for a year or two. We want somebody that's going to be here for the long term.
Follow-up. So I guess my question was, does this look like you can find someone in this pay grade? I know we're having a hard time, but when you put the feelers out, did you get any feel that it was like, now you don't pay enough or anything like that? Or
no. Mr. Chairman, Member Sacco, at the rate that we had before, that I did have somebody that was referred by one of our local contractors, which actually you probably know who I'm talking about, Frank. But He's currently working for the state right now, and he said there was no chance that he would come for that pay, right? So this just this gives us the opportunity. And obviously if it's above, I believe at 165,000, if it's above 140, and that's above 85%, you guys would still have to approve it. This just gives us the flexibility to find that right person that has those qualifications. Even after talking to Charles is leaving for more money to go to Stowe. They're paying him 40-some thousand more. He's working 5 minutes from the house, which I can't blame him for that, And, but I think this is something that, and I'm not asking to adjust all the pay grades and stuff like that. But if we bump the CBO up, the zero classification needs to be bumped up also. So, but I think this will definitely help.
Any other questions?
Just a comment.
Smuggler?
This has to have 2 degrees, correct?
They have to have, they got to have 2 degrees, plus they got to have all the certifications through the state, and even getting somebody to pass that test. Now, don't get me wrong, we could hire somebody that has nothing and they got 2 years to get it, and there was a couple people that applied. We need somebody to come in right now with, just with the amount of work that's going on right now, with making a huge push with housing in the city, with the $80 million jail. They got the village kicking back up, and not even getting into a data center conversation or any other project. I know they're talking about a big addition at Cleveland Clinic Mercy.
So my point being is you're not going to hire anyone straight out of college.
That is not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
No.
And we need to up this to make it palatable for someone to want to come here that's already completed both those degrees. And I agree with you, Mayor.
And remember, Smuffler, just to add to that, we need to look at everything with our building department. We need to look at part-time plans examiners. You have to, with your building department, you have to have a backup for everything. You have to have a backup CDO. I would prefer not to use state-built. I would prefer to have our own backup and stuff like that. Even inspectors, if you went back 15 years ago, you would have 8 to 12 inspectors that work for the building department. We were down to 2 or 3. You can't even, it's one thing to get somebody to go to work. You can't even get somebody to get the level of qualifications to be an electrical inspector or a plumbing inspector or a residential plans examiner. The list goes on and on. So.
Member Mario?
Just one thing. We think of this as approving plans, but we need a CBO for something as if a building is unsafe, and we need to be able to determine if it is bad enough to tear down. And without a CBO, that process is significantly longer. So you could have an unsafe structure in a neighborhood halfway burnt down, and you don't have an in-house CBO. You're waiting around for the state, probably, correct?
And remember, Mary, you're correct, because you're not going to move the city forward without fighting blight. I mean, you could have somebody living in an unsafe structure, but the only person that can issue an occupancy permit is that CBO, even when the building is done and constructed. So it's going to be critical for us to find the right person, but you are correct.
Any other questions? Okay, we'll sign that out at 7:50. That concludes personnel. Council is reconvening after the recess.
Mr. President, I move we suspend Rule 22A to add ordinance number 16 back to this evening's agenda.
Second. It's been moved and seconded to suspend Rule 22A to place ordinance 16 back on this evening's agenda. Are there any remarks? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mario.
Aye.
Babcock.
Aye.
Smuggler.
Aye.
Cole.
Aye.
Maley.
Aye.
Kimbrough. Stadion.
Aye.
Smith. Fisher.
Aye.
Cook. Sacco. Morris. 12 yeas, Mr. President.
Motion carries, and ordinance 16 is now a legal part of your agenda. Leader?
Mr. President, I move we suspend statutory rules on ordinance number 16.
Second. Been moved and seconded to suspend statutory rules on ordinance number 16. Are there any remarks? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Muriel.
Aye.
Babcock.
Aye.
Smucker.
Aye.
Cole.
Aye.
Maley.
Aye.
Kimbrough. Scaglione.
Aye.
Smith. Fisher.
Aye.
Cook. Sacco. Morris. 12 yeas, Mr. President.
Motion carries. You've heard all three readings. Leader?
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 16.
Second. Been moved and seconded to adopt ordinance 16. Are there any remarks? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Muriel.
Aye.
Babcock.
Aye.
Smucker. Cole.
Aye.
Maley.
Aye.
Kimbrough. Scaglione.
Aye.
Smith. Fisher.
Aye.
Cook. Sacco. Morris. 12 yeas, Mr. President.
Motion carries and ordinance 16 has been adopted. We are now with second readings. Ordinances and formal resolutions. Madam Clerk, if you begin with ordinance number 17.
An ordinance reauthorizing the Interior Renovation Program, IRP, authorizing the auditor to draw his warrants from the admissions tax fund in an amount not to exceed $85,000. Amending appropriation ordinance number 51, 2026, and declaring the same to be an emergency. Number 18, an ordinance amending section 1187.05, prohibited signs of chapter 1187 of the Planning and Zoning Code. Number 19, an ordinance amending chapter 1131, definitions, and amending chapter 1148, special provisions of business and industrial uses by creating a new section, 1148.16, data centers of the Planning and Zoning Code. Number 20, an ordinance reauthorizing the Public Realm Reinvestment Program, PRRP, authorizing the auditor to draw his warrants from the admissions tax fund in an amount not to exceed $50,000. Amending appropriation ordinance number 51, 2026, and declaring the same to be an emergency. Number 21, an ordinance reauthorizing the Storefront Reinvestment Program, SRP, authorizing the auditor to draw his warrants from the admissions tax fund in an amount not to exceed $25,000. Amending appropriation ordinance number 51, 2026, and declaring the same to be an emergency. Number 22, an ordinance authorizing the mayor or director of public service to enter a one-year contract with the option of 2 one-year extensions with Stark Metropolitan Housing Authority for vehicle maintenance and fuel services, and declaring the same to be an emergency. 23, an ordinance authorizing the mayor or director of public service to enter into an annexation agreement with the Board of Trustees, Plain Township, Stark County, Ohio, and to enter into any additional agreements or agreement amendments necessary to facilitate the foregoing annexation agreement. Terminates all previous community economic development agreements, mutual economic development agreements, etc. The city had previously entered into with Plain Township, and declaring the same to be an emergency. Mr. President.
Leader Marion.
Mr. President, I move we suspend statutory rules on ordinance number 23.
Second. Been moved and seconded to suspend statutory rules, ordinance number 23. Are there any remarks? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Muriel.
Aye.
Babcock.
Aye.
Smucker. Cole.
Aye.
Maley.
Aye.
Kimbrough. Scaglione.
Aye.
Smith. Fisher.
Aye.
Cook.
Aye.
Sacco. Morris. 12 yeas, Mr. President.
You've heard all three readings. Leader?
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 23.
Second. Been moved and seconded that you adopt ordinance number 23. Are there any remarks?
Mr. President,
Yes.
I move we amend ordinance number 23 per the top in front of each council member.
Second. Been moved and seconded to amend ordinance 23 for the copy before each of you. Are there any remarks?
Mr. President,
Yes. Mr.
I would be remiss, and I want to say it one more time, I can't thank the Plain Township trustees for their cooperation and making this possible for you guys to consider, but I would be remiss if I didn't give Lisa Campbell a shout out. She really took the lead on behalf, and, myself and her had a chance to first sit down. And I just can't thank you guys enough and thank her enough, but I would be remiss if I didn't give her a little shout out. So.
Any other remarks?
Hearing none by voice vote, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it, the motion carries. Leader?
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 23 as amended.
Second. Been moved and seconded, to adopt ordinance number 23 as amended. Are there any remarks?
Mr. President,
Leader?
there are not very many occasions where you can have a true win-win, but it's undeniable that this agreement is a win for Canton and a win for Plain Township. This will translate into more efficient, effective government, more responsive government. It is good for economic development for both of our communities, and I think it cements the strong and special relationship that has existed and will now continue to exist in the future between Canton and Plain Township. Really appreciate you guys welcoming us to your trustees meeting. I'm not sure who said, but somebody said, I think Mr. Taylor, you said this could be not only a template for surrounding areas, but for the state of Ohio, and I agree. The better that townships and cities can coordinate, it only means a better result for the citizens. So I am very excited to support this. Thank you so much for partnering with us, working on this, and we look forward to what great things this is going to yield our two communities. Thank you. Mr. President, we need to vote.
Muriel,
Aye.
Babcock,
Aye.
Smucker, Cole,
Aye.
Maley,
Aye.
Kimbrough, Staglione,
Aye.
Smith, Fisher,
Aye.
Cook,
Aye.
Sacco, Morris. 12 yeas, Mr. President.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We are now under ordinances and formal resolutions for the third and final reading and vote. Madam Clerk, please begin with ordinance number 24.
An ordinance adopting the City of Canton's alternative tax budget for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2027, and declaring the same to be an emergency. Mr. President.
Leader?
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 24.
Second. Been moved and seconded to adopt ordinance number 24. Any comment? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Muriel,
Aye.
Babcock,
Aye.
Smucker,
Aye.
Cole,
Aye.
Maley,
Aye.
Kimbrough, Staglione,
Aye.
Smith, Fisher,
Aye.
Cook,
Aye.
Sacco, Morris. 12 yeas, Mr. President.
Thank you, Leader.
Number 25. An ordinance amending appropriations ordinance number 51, 2026, and declaring the same to be an emergency. Mr. President.
Leader.
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 25.
Second. Been moved and seconded to adopt ordinance number 25. Are there any remarks?
Mr. President, I move we amend ordinance number 25 for the copy in front of each council member.
Second. Second to amend ordinance number 25 for the copy before each of you. Are there any remarks?
Yes. Do you know what the amendment is on this one?
Mr. President, to Mr. Chair Member Sacco's question, I am not Mark Kraus, and I'm filling in for him this evening. So he discussed the fact that we have the Broadview Development TIF, which is essentially a pass-through, that there would be an amendment this week. Essentially, the other items, it's an appropriation ordinance, are just kind of the typical cleanup that you see throughout the year. First item is funding out of the sewer replacement fund, $310,000 to close out the 4th Street Southeast Sewer Replacement Project. Then the next one is, I think folks know we are looking to receive federal direct spending money for another phase of Cleveland Avenue streetscape, so we have to design that. That's going to include some water line work. We don't have those funds appropriated for the design, so that's what that $52,500 is for. And then there was a small request by the judges. They have the community corrections funds they have to kind of track, spend down, and then they have to balance that out at the end of the cycle, and that's what that last $1,658.63 is for, is to appropriate that and then close out that fund. Happy to answer any questions.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, that voice vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it, the motion carries. Leader?
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 25 as amended.
Second. Been moved and seconded to adopt ordinance 25 as amended. Are there any remarks under this ordinance as amended? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Muriel,
Aye.
Babcock, Smucker, Cole, Maley, Kimbrough, Scaglione, Smith, Fisher, Cook, Sacco, Morris. 12 yeas, Mr.
The
President.
motion carries and ordinance 25 as amended has been adopted. Ordinance 26, please.
An ordinance authorizing the clerk of council to certify to the county auditor unpaid and delinquent charges for services performed by and for on behalf of the City of Canton Building and Code Department for board cleanup, demolition charges, and declaring the same to be an emergency. Mr. President.
Leader Muriel?
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 26.
Second.
Aye.
Babcock, Smucker,
Aye.
Cole,
Aye.
Maley,
Aye.
Kimbrough, Scaglione,
Aye.
Smith, Fisher, Cook, Sacco, Morris. 12 yeas, Mr. President.
Motion carries. Ordinance 27, please.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor or director of public safety to enter into agreement for and accept $20,000 in grant funds from the Ohio Office of Criminal Justice Services, authorizing the auditor to rename Fund 2772, amending appropriation ordinance number 51, 2026, and declaring the same to be an emergency. Mr. President.
Leader Muriel?
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 27.
Second. Been moved and seconded to adopt ordinance number 27. Are there any remarks? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Muriel,
Aye.
Babcock,
Aye.
Smucker,
Aye.
Cole,
Aye.
Maley,
Aye.
Kimbrough, Scaglione,
Aye.
Smith, Fisher, Cook, Sacco, Morris. 12 yeas, Mr. President.
Motion carries. On ordinance number 28 is adopted. Ordinance 29, please. No. Number
27. Ordinance number 28. An ordinance authorizing the mayor or director of public safety to enter into agreement for and accept $15,886.21 in grant funds from the Office of Justice Programs, Bureau of Justice Assistance for the purchase of approximately 30 bulletproof vests for the members of the Canton Police Department. Amending appropriation ordinance number 51, 2026, and declaring the same to be an emergency. Mr. President.
I'm really screwed up on my agenda here.
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 28.
Second. Been moved second to adopt ordinance number 28. Roll call, please.
Muriel,
Aye.
Babcock,
Aye.
Smucker,
Aye.
Cole,
Aye.
Maley,
Aye.
Kimbrough, Scaglione,
Aye.
Smith, Fisher, Cook, Sacco, Morris. 12 yeas, Mr. President.
Motion carries and ordinance 28 is adopted. Ordinance 29, please.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor or director of public service to enter into change order number 5, final with Mike Coates Construction Company, Inc., in an amount not to exceed $44,707.81 for the water service shop renovation project, authorizing the auditor to pay all moral obligations related to this change order and declaring the same to be an emergency. Mr. President.
Leader Muriel?
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 29.
Second. Been moved and seconded to adopt ordinance 29. Are there any remarks? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Muriel,
Aye.
Babcock,
Aye.
Smucker, Cole,
Aye.
Maley,
Aye.
Kimbrough, Scaglione,
Aye.
Smith, Fisher, Cook, Sacco, Morris. 12 yeas, Mr. President.
Motion carries and ordinance 29 is adopted. Ordinance 30, please.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor or director of public service to execute a professional services contract with Rastalis Financial Consultants, Inc. for a water and sewer comprehensive rate study in an amount not to exceed $195,896. Authorizes the auditor to pay all moral obligations for contract change orders that are otherwise approved by the Board of Control, amending appropriation ordinance number 51, 2026, and declaring the same to be an emergency. Mr. President.
Mary.
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 30.
Second.
Merrill,
Aye.
Babcock,
Aye.
Smuffler,
Aye.
Cole,
Aye.
Maley,
Aye.
Kimbrough, Scaglione,
Aye.
Smith, Fisher,
Aye.
Cook, Sacco, Morris. 11 yeas, 1 nay, Mr. President.
Motion carries and ordinance 30 is adopted. Ordinance 31, please.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor or director of public service to enter into contract amendment number 3 to the management services agreement for the management of the Canton Memorial Civic Center, Centennial Plaza, in the downtown Canton Ice Creek, amending appropriation ordinance number 51, 2026, and declaring the same to be an emergency. Mr. President.
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 31.
Second. Been moved and seconded to adopt ordinance number 31. Are there any remarks? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Merrill,
Aye.
Babcock,
Aye.
Smuffler, Cole, Maley,
Aye.
Kimbrough, Scaglione,
Aye.
Smith, Fisher, Cook, Sacco, Morris. 12 yeas, Mr. President.
Motion carries and ordinance 31 is adopted. We are now under announcement of committee meetings at our next meeting date, which will be July 27th, 2026. Committee meetings will start at 6:30. So we are going to start with Chairman Cole from Judiciary.
Judiciary will meet at 6:30 on 7/27/2026.
Finance Committee, Chairman Sacco.
Finance will meet on 7/27 at 6:30 also.
Economic Development Committee, Chairman Smuffler.
Economic Development will meet at the same time, same place. I want to remind everybody, we're going to have our community open house regarding the MAC project. It's going to be at the Southeast Community Center tomorrow from 6 to 8 p.m. And we are also having our next We Believe City and Park this Wednesday from 3 to 5 p.m. It's always a great time for the kids. And encouraging everybody to come down to Southeast Community Center tomorrow night. Thank you.
Okay, we are now under miscellaneous business. Is there any miscellaneous business? Yay, Leader Mayor.
Mr. President, I move we adjourn.
Second. Been moved and second, so adjourn. Roll call, please.
Merrill,
Aye.
Babcock, Smuffler,
Aye.
Cole,
Aye.
Maley,
Aye.
Kimbrough, Scaglione,
Aye.
Smith, Fisher, Cook, Sacco, Morris. 12 yeas, Mr. President.
Adjourn.